Ciao a tutti ragazzi e bentornati in questo nono episodio di Alan Wake 2. Ci eravamo lasciati esattamente qui in questo stanzino sicuro e dobbiamo, come scritto nell'obiettivo, completare il rituale del tunnel crollato. Quindi io direi di proseguire andando di qua. Tanto lì ho visto che c'è un'altra parola. Ok, di qua si va nel tunnel. Però io ho visto che di qua... No. Ok, allora niente. Pensavo che potevamo farlo da di lì, invece dobbiamo arrivare più vicini. Qui c'è questo muro di... Ok. Ah, ma siamo tornati indietro, siamo. Dove cazzo dobbiamo andare allora? Penso che dobbiamo andare qui. No, agente FBI è scomparso. Tunnel crollato. Capolinea. Treno deragliato. Ah, rituale di evocazione. Ok, qui invece. No, niente. Ok, dobbiamo andare sulla scena, ok, ho capito. Ok, vediamo. Tunnel crollato. Vediamo cosa cambia. Entra nel tunnel sgombro. Ecco, andiamo di qua. Che cazzo è? Eh sì, corri. Corri, Alan. Forza Alan, corri! Muovi quel culo, Alan! Sta per prendere la presenza oscura. Andiamo lì? Richiamo.
I couldn't hear the dark presence. It was gone.
È andata? Ragazzi, sono morto. Ok. Presenza oscura di nuovo. Il tunnel ora è accessibile. Esatto, e c'è quella lì. Sì, corri, corri. Corri. Corri, Alan. Ragazzi, situazione movimentata. L'abbiamo fatta?
The dark presence. I had seen it before. I remembered now. It was always out there, hunting me.
Ok, ce l'abbiamo fatta. Uff. Continuiamo, vediamo dove sbuchiamo. Posto siamo. che stiamo
I had found the murder site.
rivivendo
His heart was the key.
un po' il luogo dell'omicidio.
Something had shifted. I felt an overwhelming closeness to home. An FBI agent? Who are you?
What is this? Who are you?
She can hear me.
I'm Saga Anderson, FBI.
This is Alan Wake. I'm trapped here. The dark place. Under Cauldron Lake.
Cauldron Lake. Who are you?
I'm trying to escape. I'm making progress, but I'm in danger. The dark presence. Help me. Please, help me. I could sense it. I was closer to home. Had the woman in the vision helped me somehow?
Ok.
Something had changed. Outside. Parliament Tower. Where I'd lived with Alice. It was out there. Waiting for me.
Quindi diciamo che Alan Wake, che è intrappolato nel Dark Place, riusciva, diciamo, intanto a contattarsi insieme a Saga, che lei è ancora, diciamo, nel mondo reale. Va bene. Allora, abbiamo concluso questa parte qua e io direi di continuare, tanto le musiche... New York, vai all'appartamento di Parliament Tower. No, cosa c'è scritto qui?
Who was writing who? Who was writing this poem? Me? No.
Lo scrittore della prima parola non ha scritto anche l'ultima. Il terrore della luce e dell'ombra a essa prossima. Terzo occhio spalancato per far proiettare la notte truce. È giunto il momento di scrivere veloce. Questo è il rituale per farti proseguire. I tuoi amici lo vedranno quando arriva la tua fine. Ok, andiamo avanti allora. Un altro eco. Ora ce lo sentiamo.
Stepping to the murder site, I'd felt it, hanging in the air. A meaning, the violent emotion of the act, like a cloud of wrath. The dead eyes of the victim staring at something you couldn't see, and yet making you aware of it. Something that soaked into this place on a molecular level, overlapping with your meaningless existence. Regression to something you had managed to forget. Marking you. Taking you for a ride. Making you crazier.
Ok. Facciamo rivedere gli echi nella stanza mentale di Alan. Vediamo cosa ci attende ora. Qualche altra munizia la raccoglierei volentieri se la trovassimo. E lì c'è una freccia. Ah, quella è la porta che di prima.
The station had changed. I was closer now.
Vediamo. Ok.
Parliament Tower, our home in New York. Was I really this close to being home? Going up to our apartment? Would I be home?
Ragazzi.
Or was this just an echo of the real thing? Even then, the murder site had brought me one step closer to escape.
Andiamo lì. C'è l'appartamentino con cui viveva.
The writer. Maybe he was a victim. The cult, using his words. Or maybe he was the monster behind it all. Either way, Alice Wake, his ex, she knew things. It was there in her art for all to see. A cry for help. The darkness she'd witnessed. And that put her in danger.
Was Alice here? In the story?
Qui basta la pistola. Quindi questo era l'appartamento dove viveva Alan Wake insieme alla sua compagna. Andiamo. Affanculo. Tormento.
Alice's photo equipment. Set to go off when the door opens.
Get out! Leave me alone!
Alice! Alice! Alice.
Scegli le foto per poster mostra. Foto.
This is the door to my study, where I wrote my books.
Ok.
This symbol wasn't here before.
Dov'è Alice?
Alice's video camera. No memory card inside.
Punto focale del luogo buio. Parte 1.
Part 1. What was Alice working on?
Uso la scheda di memoria con la videocamera. Ok. Vediamo che cosa ci mostra.
When I was younger, photography was everything to me. I moved to New York thinking I'd make it as an artist. And then I met Alan. We had a good thing. We were both dedicated by our creative ambitions. The only difference was that Alan's work made money. He brought me work when he could. I took his promo shots, created covers for his books. I'm sure he forced his publisher into it. I was taking photos, just not my photos. And that gnawed at me. Things got complicated sometimes, but that's life, right? We loved each other. of him. One I didn't like. I set up a trip to see a doctor in Washington. I didn't tell him until we got there. We argued. Things went wrong. And he was just gone. Drowned, allegedly. It's easy for people to think it was my fault. Hell, I do too sometimes. About 6 years ago, I started hearing noises in the night. Typewriter keys clacking. Voices. Alan was back. Haunting me. Then it got violent. It was Alan. And yet, it was a monster. He always did have anger in him. I set up cameras around the apartment with motion sensors and flashes.
Ok.
Now, when the monster comes, I turn it into art. My nightmares caught on film. And this is the focus of my new exhibition. To show people the world is so much darker than they ever knew. I'm calling this exhibit The Dark Place.
Alice. Scratch was terrorizing her. Why?
Allora avete visto, cioè il luogo buio, il dark place, è il luogo che sua moglie, diciamo, aveva chiamato per la mostra. Quindi alla fine questo qui dovrebbe essere un senso di colpa che Alan ha chiamato questo il suo posto dark place.
I sat in the writer's room and wrote a story. Initiation. To project myself through the dark place, to look for a way out. The story had brought me here, brought me nowhere. Looped me back. I was writing the story. And in the story, I now stepped into the writer's room. But there was no one here writing.
Ritorno. Che cazzo? Non giuro, non ci sto capendo niente. Ancora un'altra volta sta canzoncina. Ragazzi, che gioco psicologico, cazzo. Vabbè, comunque alla fine è proprio questo il bello, perché è un survival horror psicologico. Dai, iniziamo, anzi continuiamo. Ah, siamo ritornati con Saga? Ritorniamo a giocare con Saga? Sì, direi di sì. Sì ragazzi, siamo ritornati diciamo nel mondo quello reale.
Okay.
E qui c'è ancora Alex
Let's recap
Casey,
what
quindi non è
you've told us so
morto.
far, Ellen. For the past 13 years, you've been trapped in a nightmare dimension called the Dark Place. It's like New York, but it's not New York. And can be reached from the bottom of Cauldron Lake, but it's not really under the lake. And after all this time, you've managed to get out.
Yeah.
But so has your evil doppelganger. Mr. Scratch? Or is it the Dark Presence?
Both. It's interchangeable. He's Scratch when he looks like me, but he can change into this other form.
And Scratch, the Dark Presence, wants to rewrite the world in his own image.
Which would be in your image, as he looks just like you.
And turn the world into a fucking nightmare.
During Deerfest, which is scheduled to take place in a couple of days. You got out of the Dark Place by writing a novel, the pages we've been finding. But your double edited it into a horror story that's now changing reality, taking over people, making them crazy, bringing the Dark Place to Bright Falls.
Yes, fiction coming in contact with the Dark Place can change reality. The story is coming true, soaking into everything, like darkness when night falls. But last time
This will be back in 2010.
Yes, last time it didn't happen all at once. The story came true bit by bit as it unfolded. And that dark presence was still bound to the lake. I stopped it before it got the ending it wanted. Before it broke free. Based on that, there's still time.
Which brings us to your magical light switch.
The clicker. Magical doesn't quite cover it. Scratch wants it to bring about his ending. That can't happen. If I can get the clicker, I can send him back to the Dark Place, make all this shit go away.
Ok.
I know it's batshit crazy. My memory is full of holes, and I'm not sure how much I can trust. It's like a half-forgotten dream.
Perché bevono in sincro, cazzo? Mi dà fastidio che bevono in sincro.
Mr. Wake, Alan, we've seen our share of batshit crazy in the past 24 hours. What I want to know is, why am I? Why are we written into the story?
I think I saw you. Or a vision of you in the Dark Place. I think you helped me reach out and escape somehow. With that in the story, Scratch would have edited it to get to you. To hurt you. We are all in danger.
Ok, è folle e non si spiega. Esatto. Interrogatorio Alan Wake. Ok, facciamo questa domanda.
Have you ever heard of the cult of the tree?
Creepy bunch. In the habit of wearing deer masks, performing murder rituals, victims turning into monsters possessed by darkness, possibly inspired by a horror story written by a certain author. Ring any bells?
Cult. Yes. Yes. They have the clicker.
If the cult has the clicker, does that make them Scratch's followers? How are you so certain they even have the clicker?
They could be working for Scratch. I don't remember. It's all confused.
Alan, if I'm gonna act on this information, you need to be honest with me.
Yeah, of course.
Is he confused? Or is he hiding something?
Ah, possiamo fare la profilazione del suo profilo. Profilo. Ok, qui possiamo salvare il gioco, qui c'è la scatola. Questa cos'è questa? Aggiunge una carica alla torcia di saga. Questa non è male. Facciamo così. Questa mettiamola qui e mettiamo questa, dai, che mi sembra un po' meglio. E qui faccio un salvataggio veloce, ragazzi. No, questa è la mappa. Allora, mappa. Cosa c'è qua? Bright Falls. Direi di fare subito la profilazione di Alan.
Wake said the cult has the clicker. How does he know?
The writer is the reader. The next chapter, the next chapter, the next chapter. Keep the pages safe, the dark shining of the words.
Wake is hiding pages. That's how he knows the cult has the clicker.
Quindi lui stesso nasconde le pagine che non trova?
Wake has a double. Mr. Scratch. Where is he now?
A cloud of wrath wears my face. The dark place in your place. Scratching out my body of work.
Scratch is here. In Washington. He's hunting Wake.
Ok, vediamo quest'altra profilazione.
Scratch looks just like Wake. Why?
Don't wake up the dreamer if your life is a dream. I swam to the shore, but the water is rising.
Wake and Scratch are clearly connected. Maybe Scratch got out because Wake did. Or vice versa.
Ok. Andiamo nel tabellone del caso. Interrogatorio.
Wake just gave us a lot of information. But this clicker seems like a good place to start. If we find that, then we find the cult.
Ok, allora. Dov'è il clicker? Prima domanda di saga. Ok. Abbiamo un po' di fascicoli. Porta pranzo di Alex Casey. Abbiamo trovato uno. A Cauldron Lake. Lo metterei qui. Ok, poi cassa della setta. Trovata vicino in zona Cauldron Lake. La metterei qui anche questa. No, ho sbagliato. Casi. Storia. Di cosa c'è? La storia.
The pages we've been finding are from a horror story called Return, written by Alan Wake. And the contents of this book are coming true.
Oof.
Why couldn't it have been a romance? Yes. Okay.
Last time, it didn't happen all at once. The story came true bit by bit as it unfolded.
The dark place. A dimension that's home to monsters. Huh. Wild stuff.
Ok, allora ragazzi, io direi che per questo episodio è tutto. Noi ci vediamo nel prossimo episodio. Se questo vi è piaciuto lasciate un like, un commento e soprattutto iscrivetevi, e vediamo nel prossimo episodio di continuare questa indagine che sta diventando, diciamo, sempre più interessante. Ciao a tutti ragazzi.